pressed it? Right, this is Craig Can Cook, and we're going to cook flapjack tonight. Yes, we are. So, what we're going to need is 1 kilogram of oats. So we put those in the scales, check that, exactly a kilogram. Be prepared. Take that off, take that off. Right, we're going to need to mix some ingredients. Now, we need 500 grams of sugar. I'm going to mix white and brown because I think it's nice. So I've done about 250 white. And this is light soft brown. And I clearly didn't open the bag big enough, so it obviously takes a lot of squeezing. So you've got to have very squeezy hands. So we've got 500 grams of sugar. Now we need flour, buttery. Grab the spoon, apply, because you need 450 grams of this stuff. It pays to have a bowl of water on hand, so you can dip your spoon, but we need a lot, so like this. I'm using a big cooking pot, as you can see, because this flapjack portion is not for puny humans, as folk would say. So, we can move this to one side now. Wipe our hands a little bit because they get a little bit buttery. Then we need to apply the treacle. If you want to have a look so far at what this looks like, come on over. So this is the bowl of doom, otherwise known as pre-prepared flapjack. Right, step away from the pot. This stuff is really sticky. It's really, really sticky. It's good. Golden Lightons, I don't know if they do cheap versions, but this is the preferably known as the meat. There we go. And we need about 500 grams of this. So, just pour that all over. Yeah, don't use a spoon. It's not a portion for puny humans, as repeated earlier in the video. So this is going on now, lavishing that bad boy. And that's it, all over. Stop it. Then the only way to get this off the side of the tin, because cloths don't quite cut it, you have to do this. Don't try this at home, it's incredibly sweet. But it's good. It's really good.
Oh gosh.
Now what we're going to do, we're going to apply some heat to this. So step away, try not to burn yourself. Don't try this at home if you're kids. Make sure you've got a parent with you or someone supervising. Because this is where it gets messy. We're going to need a spoon, preferably wooden, doesn't have to be. I'm going to apply some heat to this bad boy. There we go. Don't matter how hot you want this, you just want it to cook. Don't have to be slow, don't have to be long, whatever, you name it. Yeah? Gonna need a tray to pour this bad boy in. This is the only one I could find. It's close to hand, obviously not dried earlier. I blame the sous chef. So this is burning now, it's melting up a little bit. There we go. Shed some light on the subject. But careful when you're doing this because brown sugar gets lumpy and it sticks, it goes little hard balls. Sometimes when you bite sweet bit in your teeth, no good for fillings. Well, it's definitely not for diets. So if you're on a diet, please avoid this recipe because it's good. Can you hear that? If you can hear that, it's too hot. You need to turn it down. Yeah? Because you don't want it boiling. We're not making caramels. So we get that melting a little bit. What I like to find is a nice brown consistency with little bits of butter still in it, not quite melted. Because when you put it in the tray, and you've obviously got your oats in there, it still melts in slowly, but it's not melted in over heat. So it just makes it a little bit, I think it makes the oats a little bit smoother, a little bit more grape-like, if you get what I mean. So it wants to be looking a little bit like this. I'm going to bring the camera over. Sous chef. Can we see that? Yeah? How do you think that looks?
Lumpy.
Good. This is how it's supposed to look. So a little bit longer, because those lumps are a little bit big. They want to be about bean size. Not butter bean. The standard Heinz baked bean size. And then what you have to, now this bit's the complicated part. This is where we're going to add the oats. You've got to be really careful with this because obviously making flapjack is like rocket science. That's why I gave you this video.
Come on.
Check this out. Oats, oats, baby. Oats, oats, baby. All the oats. Now, to mix it like this, you have to go clockwise or anti-clockwise, or Tristan what? You can do some mixing soon, but Dad has to get stuck in. One day you'll be making your own YouTube videos. So you do the mixing, hold the pan, it gets a little bit hot, so you've got to be like Iron Man, a little bit, or Hulk. Son? Very shortly. So you do some mixing, like this, like this, like this, and like this, yeah. And it kind of looks like breaking into a Cadbury's cream egg, but with oats and treacle instead of chocolate and cream egg. So it's not that similar. Just damn good mixing. You've got to be very strong to do this. Not like world's strongest man, but obviously you can lessen the portions, what I've given you. Any portions work. So, yeah, like that. And then you add the secret ingredient. Turn it off the heat. Don't look for a second. Secret ingredient added. Give that a bit of a mix. And then you need to pick this bad boy up and pour it in. You might need to do 2 trays worth because this is a lot of flap in your jack. Pour it in. Can you see that here? It's good, doesn't it? Can you see this going in? Look at that. Oh, look at those golden oats. Then float all that down. Spread it all around. Get a little bit more out, maybe if you need some more. Just so you can make it sure it's extra thick and juicy flapjacks. Because if someone gives you a small piece, it's going to have to be thick enough to fill you. Yeah, so it looks a bit like that. enough left for another batch, even at this thickness and consistency. And then what I normally do is push it down at the edges. I don't know why I do this, it's just something I do. You might not do it. I think it just, when you're getting flapjack out, sometimes it breaks and it tears and gets little pieces off, and I don't like doing that because you can fill up on pieces before you actually get a full piece. Yeah, so push it down like that. And then, well, the finished product looks a little bit like this. If you can bring the camera a little bit closer to see this masterpiece. What do you think? Good? Right, then you give your sous chef the spoon. Like this. Take this off, open your oven, put it in your oven. Middle shelf, as we're not fortunate enough to have 2 shelves. Wax some heat on it, you want about 180, 200-ish, something like that. And that's done. That's how you make flapjack a la king. Tune in later for more videos of badass flapjacks and more.